Welcome, everybody, to our latest episode of Let's Talk About Energy. And this is our podcast of bite-sized explorations into energy and all that it entails. My name's Amanda Brooks. I'm a healthcare practitioner, gosh, for a very long time, it feels like, over 30 years. And this is my amazing colleague.
Thank you. I'm Jo Dahl, and yes, I too am an energy healer and practitioner and practicing kinesiology and spiritual healing. So yes, thank you, Amanda, for that, for the introduction today. So what we tend to do at the beginning of every episode is we talk about what we are using at the moment to help with our energy. We call them our energy tool of the month. And so, Amanda, what are you using at the moment to help your energy?
So mine is another sound tool, which I know Zoom doesn't always let you play, but it just looks like a piece of wood. But it's got these little tinkle bell things inside. And this one is specifically linked in to the air. So it's about the air quality, but it's also about our air signs within our elements. And I just find just a minute or two of that. I've even got it as a on my phone. So anytime my phone rings, I have that sound. So, and that helps to clear the energy field. So what have you been using, Joe?
So I think I've spoken about this in previous episodes, the Aurosoma Beautiful Essences. And they have quintessences and pomander essences. And the moment I'm using one of the pomander essences, which is violet, and I've been doing an aura sweep with it. That obviously makes a big difference to show the listener, what would I do with it. And the violet pomander is opening up our perception and our awareness of higher realms. So I've been drawn to use it without reading about it, and I've just read it and it's absolutely bob on. So that's what I've been using this month to help me with my energy flow. So one of the things that we do is we like to just do a little summary of what we're going to talk about. And so today we're going to be speaking about the energy that is surrounding the seasons and how this can affect us significantly. And we're also going to be talking about the moon and the power of the moon and intention settings. So, would you like to start by sharing your wisdom of the seasons and how they affect us?
Well, we all know if you look at nature, how there are the different seasons and it affects everything that you see out there. So, how come people think that we're separate from that? We're not. You notice that when you're in the summer, everybody's out there, they're smiling. Yes, it's because the weather's lovely, but it's also it's like that opening out. Like in spring, it's that blossoming, that blooming. And then when you get more into the colder, darker months, you just want to hibernate with inside. And what I find is that when you do like a tune up, an energy session around the beginning of any of these seasons, if you start to bring in that season, it allows the body and the energy field to sort of like flow in with so much more ease and grace. And then people start, they don't feel that change in the season quite so dramatically. They're almost like going more with that flow of everything. And so yeah, that's how I feel. What about you, Joe?
So, I would very much agree with you. I think that we have become disconnected from nature and what Mother Earth shows us. And actually, if you do observe what's happening outside, it's very clear what we should be doing with each season. You know, we talk about the winter, like you just said, is all about hibernation because Mother Earth draws everything back into the soil where it rests, it's still, it's restoring. And and that's what we should be doing. In the spring, you know, you've named it already, it's about starting to emerge out of the hibernation. And in the summer it's spreading wide, and you look at all of the trees in the summer and all of the plants, and they're reaching up to the heavens because they're just wanting to show off their vibrancy and their beauty and their colour. And at this time of year, in the beginnings of the autumn, it's about when there's that balance again between night and day. The nights are starting to draw in, so the day is equally as long as the night. And it's about us really taking on board the harvest of all that the summer has produced for us and beginning to start to slow down a little bit in preparation for the winter. And I think that, particularly at this time of year, it's about maybe reflecting back over the past few months and then starting to just take on board what we have seen and sort of taking on board the harvest of what has been in order to just preserve our energy a little bit, just take a little bit more care over it in preparation for what's going to be coming. And I think with this comes the autumn equinox. Would you like to share a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, one of the big things that I often think of with the autumn equinox, which you might not have heard other people talk about, but is that, and yeah, I think it is what it's about. It's that season of gratitude, and it is about being grateful for what you've got, what you've grown, what you've made. And you might think, well, we don't work the land anymore, but remember, our ancestors did, and it's not that many generations back. So we in ourselves are very cued in with the different seasons and about how that means to us on that ancestral level. And Joe and I've had loads of different conversations around this, is that, we, who we are right now is amazing, but we are who we are because of everyone that's been behind us, everyone, all that information. And so as we get into the autumn time, the point of reflection, absolutely. And it is about finding things to be grateful and to have gratitude about. And some days you might think, but nothing good's happened today. So I just say, find three things. I am grateful that the sun is shining. I am grateful that I can put the quilt over my head tonight. It doesn't have to be big things, but that gratitude, that raises our vibration and then allows us to go into that next season with that bit more of a joy and peace. For me, it's always about peace, what
Yeah.
comes within. And that's why we want to talk about the energy, because as you've said before, there are so many people that are doing energy work, but what is energy work?
Yeah.
What is that about? And that's part of the seasons. It's that acknowledgement.
Yeah.
So how do you celebrate sort of like the autumn
So, I
season?
mean, autumn is my favourite time of year anyway. I just love the colours as they're changing into the golds and the reds, and just, I mean, particularly in Derbyshire, the trees just are incredible. But also for me, it's about honouring our own bodies, in preparation for all that is to come. And so the autumn is another good time to just explore whether we need to do a slight cleanse and detoxification in preparation for the winter months. So we will talk more about that. Um, and we have got some little tiny gifts for those of you who have signed up. But we'll talk about that in a minute. Sorry, I'm pinching Amanda's a little bit. But this is a good time to honour what has been in the summer, to honour within ourselves all that has been in the summer, and just start to have a little preparation for what is going to be emerging for us in the winter months. Yeah.
And the thing as well that we have, and I will mention it because the drum roll was so big there, from Joe, is that what we thought is for the people that have signed up to be part of the Let's Talk Energy community, that we would just do some extra little gifts if you want to, with the emails. And we're going to, well, Joe is doing this one. She's actually going to do a little PDF about how to set intentions around the upcoming equinox. And it wouldn't just be for this year. it will be for years to come. And so I think that's like a priceless little gift that you are going to be doing. And I'm excited to see it myself.
Thank you. Yeah, definitely. So just really being aware and resonating with the seasons. Don't, I think one of the tips that I would say to anybody who's listening is be aware of what's happening. You know, pause for a moment, observe what's around you. You know, we're in a 24/7 fast track world where life is just busy, and we often get so drawn into what we're doing, we forget how to be. Mother Nature teaches as well. So just be in Mother Nature for a while, even if it's just in your garden or, you know, in a park nearby, but just observe what she's showing you, because I think it will guide you well. Yeah.
And that's actually just reminded me of something else, which I think is incredibly important, is that with the way the world is now, we don't eat within season. And so our body never gets a rest from certain foods. And so when you are buying your food, when you are thinking about what to have to eat today, tomorrow, next week, think about, is that actually grown in this season in the country you are in? The reason I say that is because you can buy things all year round from everywhere. But our digestion also works with the seasons. And one of the things that I've noticed, and probably you've noticed, Joe, is that we have a lot more digestive issues. And I think part of it is because we are eating similar things all the time because we love them.
Yeah.
Why would you not? But it's about eating within the season that they're grown, of the environment that you are within.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
really important. And I think that's when we get the most from what we eat, the most nutrients, the best vitality from the food. Yeah, I absolutely agree with you, and thank you for sharing that with our listeners, because I think it's something that we forget so easily. And as you just mentioned, you know, so many people have intolerances and allergies, and it is generally because their bodies are saying, I really don't want this anymore. I just don't want this anymore. And so, you know, again, listen to your energy, listen to your body, because it will serve you well. Yeah, definitely.
Which actually leads us on to the next part of the topic that we wanted to um, talk about with you, which is the energy of the moon. Now, I know a lot of people go, oh, that's a load of nonsense. The moon has no effect on us whatsoever. Joe, do you want to explain how it might well have an effect on us?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, some people are more sensitive to the energy of the moon than others. Some people are more aware of it than others, but it definitely affects all of us. And you may have heard years ago where in the full moon the werewolf comes out and all of that fairy tale stuff, but it does affect us. The full moon and the new moon, particularly the waxing and the waning of the moons, it's drawing different energies. It's an in breath and an out breath. And if you look at the tides, and all of the sailors that we've got out there who know this so well, when the tides are coming in, going out, it's all in connection with the moon. When we've got the super moons, then we get the big spring tides, we get the lower tides, and it's all because of the drawing. It's like a magnetic drawing of the energy that then creates the tides flowing in and out. And the same really with women. You know, people often say we have our monthly cycles when we have our menstrual cycles, and it should be a 28-day cycle. That's the phase of the moon again. So we really are quite significantly affected by the draw, the energy of the moon. Now, I know you know more about this, So can you explain what we should be doing around those different phases of the moon?
So, one thing I also wanted to add in, because if you're a male watching this, you might think, well, I don't have a menses, so this doesn't really affect me. But all of our bodies are made up around 75% water. So that means every single cell in your body is being affected by the phases of the moon. Again, you may be aware of it, you may not. And what I found is that if you do keep a diary, you can start to kind of realize where you're at. And one of the things that I often suggest to people is that you sip a little bit more water around the full moon. It used to be the new moon, but I've just noticed things are shifting and changing. But then isn't everything always at the moment? And what is also happening is the Earth's magnetic field is shifting and changing. So that's affecting the moon. Therefore, we are being affected by the water within our system. And it's about you'll need more rest at certain times, but your phase might be incredibly different from your rest of your family. It doesn't seem, I have found in all the years I've been looking at it, to have a theme in a family, in friends, or anything. I had one friend who had 5 boys, and she said to me, oh gosh, this is nearly 30 years ago. She said, oh, I know it's full moon because none of the boys can sleep. And it was like, I thought, wow, really? And then it did. That's what really got me interested in how the different things, because around the different phases, so you might notice that if it comes to a full moon, that you don't sleep so well. So maybe you have more rest periods put into the day if you know that's your cycle. Again, everybody's different. But you've got some tools as well, haven't you, Joe, for or ideas and things that people could possibly use?
So I think that with regards to that, um, we can often, I'm sorry, I'm digressing here because something's just popped into my head, is, if you have crystals
Mm.
around, and obviously you've got loads and I've got loads, and some people have just a few in the home, but to put them out under the full moon to cleanse, clear, and energize those crystals, to then bring them back into the home, that really does ramp up their energy and their healing properties and can make a big difference.
Yeah, and we've also got the part as well, haven't we, about setting intentions. So like on the new moon, you will set intentions of things you want to come in. And when you set intentions, don't go like I've done, um, and gone, oh, I want this stuff, and then none of it comes, and then you think, oh well, that didn't work for me. But it's about having one clear intention rather than lots of different ones. I want this, I want this, and I want this. Oh, and can Mary Lou be healed as well while we're at it? It's about having that one intention and writing it down and being in that. And then for the full moon, it's about releasing, letting go. So that's when I tend to burn if I've actually written it down, or shred it. That's a good way as well, because with fire alarms the way they are in the house, you can't burn anything now.
No. And I think that's one thing we do need to say, listeners, from a health and safety point of view, is
Exactly.
if you do set intentions and you do burn them, please do it outside. Outside, not inside. Please don't do it inside.
Who knew this should come with a health warning?
Oh, bless you. So we talked about intention setting. Intention setting is having a clear intention of what you would like, or how you would like to be, or what would you like to heal, or what would you like to release. And we talked about this earlier. For those of you who have subscribed to our Let's Talk Energy podcast, we are going to start to offer you more tips and tools that will help you to explore these even more. But then we also, oh, you may know about them, you may not, are affirmations, and afformations. So, Amanda, do share with our listeners the difference between the two.
Well, I'll go into it briefly because we're going to be really talking about it more in our next episode. But an affirmation, and you do hear these about these a lot, where people go, "Oh, I am amazing, I am wonderful, I am lovely, I am peaceful." They are beautiful, but your subconscious has to be in the right space for that. And often we're not, because we've got other sorts of imbalances that are going on in the little subconscious going, no, you're not. No, you're not. And I find affirmations work better. And that's when you put like a why or a question word in front of it, like, why am I so peaceful? Why do I feel at peace with myself? And what happens then is the subconscious goes around looking for all the reasons why that might be true. And it then brings in the change. Whereas when people have done affirmations, I find they have to do them for a lot longer and a lot more intensely for that shift to come forth. But that's a little brief piece about that.
Yeah, definitely. So, we would like to thank you so much for listening today. And what we have explored today is the power of the seasons and how they really do affect our energy. And we will be sharing more information on each of the seasons in more detail next year. So, please do come and listen some more about the power of the seasons and how it affects our energy. We also have touched on today about the power of the moon and the phases of the moon, and how we should be honouring the moon with our releasing and our bringing in. What are we looking to release? What are we looking to bring in as an intention? And so, yes, so thank you so much for doing that, sharing the information today about that. And next time, as Amanda just said, we will be talking about affirmations and afformations in much, much more detail, and how we release stuck energy when it's really beginning to get a bit sticky and stuck. So, as we talk about energy more and more, we'll start to delve slightly deeper to give you more information to help you and your own energy. But for now, I would like to thank you, Amanda, for doing these podcasts with me. We hope that you find them helpful and enjoyable. And so for now, it's goodbye from me.
And thank you, Joe. And it's goodbye from me.
Bye bye.